Hello, my lovelies. It's Susanna, and today I want to show you how to calculate this expression here. We have the square root of, inside we have this fraction, and here we have 7, and this exclamation mark stands for the factorial. So let's take a look at an example like 4 factorial, and let's see what this stands for. You always start with this number, in this case with the 4, and then you always multiply this by the next smaller number, so by the 3. And you multiply it by the next smaller number, by the 2, and you do it until you get down to 1. This is 4 factorial. And here we have 7 factorial, 8 factorial, 9 factorial, and down here we have 7 factorial. So maybe some of you might think, hey, I have 7 factorial here, I have 7 factorial here, I just cancel it out. Be careful. We have plus symbols here and here, which means that we are not allowed to just cancel things out. This would only be allowed if we had multiplication symbols here and here. But that's not what we have here, so we are not allowed to just cancel the 7 factorial. But what else can we do here then? Well, we have a fraction. We have 7 factorial down here. It would be great if we could cancel 7 factorial out. But how can we do it correctly? Well, we could cancel 7 factorial if it was in each part up here. So can we find 7 factorial in the first part? Yes, definitely, because it just says 7 factorial. So the 7 factorial is definitely in the first part. Then we have a plus. And the question is the 7 factorial now also in the 8 factorial? Well, let's see. Let's take the 8 factorial and let's see what we get here. We start with this number, with the 8, and we multiply it by the next smaller number and so on until we get down to 1. And now the question is 7 factorial in here? Well, if we start with the 7 and multiply until we get down to 1, yes, this part here is 7 factorial. So I can write the 8 factorial as 8 times, and this part here is just my 7 factorial. So instead of my 8 factorial, I'm going to write down this here so that I have my 7 factorial in here, what I had here as well, and what I have down here as well. Then don't forget that we still have a third part, the same thing now, or the same question with a 9 factorial. Is 7 factorial in my 9 factorial? Let's take a look at it. What is 9 factorial? We start with this number, with the 9, and we multiply it by the next smaller number until we get down to 1. And now again, if we start with the 7 here, this part here is my 7 factorial. So I can write the 9 factorial as 9 times 8, and then times my 7 factorial. So instead of 9 factorial, we write 9 times 8 and then the 7 factorial. And then we can see, aha, 7 factorial is actually in each part of our sum here. So let's factor out the 7 factorial then, so that we get a product here in our numerator. So we want to factor out this green 7 factorial. If we factor it out from the first part here we had 1 times 7 factorial. So if we factor the green thing out, only the 1 is left. Then we have the plus symbol. If we factor out the green 7 factorial here, only the 8 is left. Then we have the plus symbol. And here, if we factor this green thing out, only 9 times 8 is left. And down here, we still have our 7 factorial. Okay, now we have a multiplication here, which means now we are allowed to cancel the 7 factorial out. The only thing that is left are these numbers in these parentheses here. So let's calculate them. 9 times 8 first, which is 72. And then we have 72 plus 8, which is 80. And 80 plus 1 is 81. And the square root of 81 is just 9. And some of you might say, hey, you forgot the plus and minus 9 here. We have 2 solutions, because that's what I read a lot in my comments. But no, that's actually not the case. If you just want to calculate the square root of a number, the result is always just positive. That is how the square root is defined. What you are referring to with the plus and minus 9 is when you want to solve a quadratic equation like x squared is equal to 81. In this case, for this equation, you get 2 solutions. That is correct. But here, we just want to calculate a square root, and then we only get 1 positive result. I hope it helped you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I wish you a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Take care.